Hello everybody, this is the first, I guess you'd say, episode of GirlTalk, where pretty much you guys tell me what you want me to talk about. And it doesn't have to be just girls. Guys can tell me what to talk about too, ask me questions. But first, let me, I guess, try to introduce myself. My name is Caitlin. I currently live in California. My real job is a nanny. Don't want to give away too much, so let me know if you want to know anything else about me, I guess. The first topic was requested to me by my fiance, and it's basically talking about being a military spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and for me personally, my fiance is in the Navy. For me personally, it's hard, but not as hard as probably others, because he's never actually been on a long deployment. As of right now, currently, the longest we've gone without seeing each other in person was about 3 months. So I'm sure that's nothing compared to either what's coming up later in the future or what you other military spouses have gone through. But my personal experience is, of course it's going to be hard. Just because in the beginning, especially if it's new to both of you, it's just gonna be hard. Spending every day with each other and then going straight to not seeing each other for months on end. For me though, it's, I guess, a little easier because in the beginning of our relationship, the first year of our relationship was through Skype and texting and calling, so it's not too different. The only difference is at that point he lived 30 minutes away from me, so we saw each other on the weekends. Now he lives thousands of miles away from me, or hundreds of miles away from me. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's easier for me because we've kind of already been through it in the beginning. As far as what the Navy's rules and regulations are, I'm still trying to get used to that. In terms of they can change anything at the drop of a hat, at the split of a second. So currently my fiance and I were going through, he was trying to get a new rate or a new job, and the new job would possibly require us to move to a different state. And for me, I wasn't prepared for that because he currently lives in San Diego now. So we were both planning on moving. I was planning on moving down there to San Diego, and we were planning this for months. And then when he tells me, if he gets this new job, then he'll have to move to a different state, which after we get married, I would have to move out of state. It didn't sit well with me. And I think it didn't sit well with me because I would just be so far away from my family, and being newlyweds, moving to a different state that we don't know anybody, we don't have any help if we need it, that just really scared me. And it's possible that could happen. But I think I'm more okay with it now than I was in the beginning when he told me, just because I had time to think about it, process it, and wherever we move, if we have to move, it will all work out, it will all be okay. Probably not in the beginning, there will be some bumps and, but that's probably the hardest part for me, being a spouse of a military person. Just the fact that anything can happen within a split second and you don't have time to plan. The other thing that's hard, obviously, that's going to have to come up sometime in our future is when he goes on deployments. And that will be a time where I will probably be alone. Not alone as in I don't have any family or anybody to support me and talk to me and whatever. I just mean alone in he won't be there. And for those who know, when you're on deployment, he'll be on a ship. So he'll be out in who knows where, in the middle of the ocean. And the only time we'd be able to talk to each other is by sending written letters. And when you're on a ship, it's kind of like when he was in boot camp, they only send out the letters every so often. When he was in boot camp, it was once a week. You wrote your letter and, the person would come by and pick up all the letters, and that's when they would send them out. It wasn't, an everyday thing. And when he'll be on the ship, it will be probably even longer, because you kind of, unless they air carry it, you have to be on land somewhere to be able to send out mail. And not knowing what he will be doing during that time is a little scary. Not knowing if he's okay, not knowing if something were to happen to the ship or him, not being able to talk to him like we are right now. Like, we're so used to nowadays the internet, our cell phones. Most people don't even have house phones anymore because they rely on their cell phones. And because we're so used to that, once it's taken away from you, it's really hard, because you don't know on the other end what that person is doing, how they're doing, did they get hurt, whatever the case may be. And that's the scariest thing. I told him, I said, I don't care how long I don't talk to you for, as long as I get something in the mail or text message or just something saying, hey, I'm still okay, I'm still alive, everything's okay, I will be fine. But yeah, I think that's the scariest, or one of the scariest things that I don't know how I'm going to react to when the time actually comes for that. As of right now, they're saying that he won't go on deployment until 2017. However, just a few months ago, they were talking about his ship going on deployment next year, 2015. So it could all change so fast, and you kind of don't have time to think about it. That's when it's scary and frustrating. Like I said in the beginning, this hasn't happened to me yet. It's, probably a lot harder when the time actually comes. For those of you who have gone through this already, let me know. kind of try to prepare me and anyone else watching this, any other military spouses watching this who it hasn't happened to them yet. Guide us in what we can do to keep our mind off things. I mean, I know jobs, careers, whatever, but that can only take you so far. And yeah, it's just, that to me is probably the most scary thing that we're gonna have to go through at some point. It could be 2 years from now, it could be shorter than that, it could be longer than that. We just don't know in the military. And currently, I mean, I still live at home, I still live with my parents, so also having them to help me, like to physically be there and help me, is going to be hard too. I mean, I know some people are going to say, well, you need to detach yourselves from them from some point. I mean, I'm 22 years old, still living with my parents, but yeah, it's going to be hard because I've never been out on my own. And I mean, I'm at the point right now, I'm paying for some of my bills myself and things like that, but I've never had a mortgage, I've never had rent due, I've never had a full grocery list that I've had to pay for. I've never had car insurance to pay for. So, I mean, a lot of this is going to be new and scary, and I know for a lot of couples, that's what puts them on the brink of divorce is money. And I'm a little scared about that too. But anyways, going back to military, I know I'm going to have the support of other military spouses wherever we're going to move, but just not having my immediate family there, or even his immediate family right there in my reach, where I can just drive on over if something happens, or if I'm just bored sitting around the house, or just something like that. That's going to be a little tough in the beginning. That's it for my first episode of Girl Talk. Like I said in the beginning, you guys let me know what you want me to talk about. Ask me questions and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.